All right, here's your quick tutorial on how you should create your tests or edit your tests. When you go to the Easy Bridge, you want to click on Pearson, and then you don't want to necessarily click on the class because you want to edit the test independent of the class. So you go down here to where it says Assessments, pick whichever assessment you want, and essentially you just kind of go in here and you'll see an option to print all these things, and you've got the certain ones, and you want to customize that test. So it gives you a slate. You can edit it, call it whatever you want. Practice copy, make notes, set the standard, do whatever. And then once that's done, you have to save it. And then you can go through and delete things. So if you look at it and you don't want to use it, you just hit the trash can button. And what you'll need to note is the green is actually the number it will be on the test. So if you're looking at if you print out the test or something and look through it, which is what Rachel and I did, she had a printed copy as I went through to edit. You'll see number 1 is going to be question 4 on the test. So you can go through and look at those things, and you can edit however you want. If you want to add items from the test bank, there's the option there as well. That's usually not going to happen much. I don't think that's a great idea. Just use the stuff they give you. This is a little more complicated. But so if you see one that you don't like, you can kind of go in and check it all out. You cannot really edit the questions themselves. So if you are trying to eliminate choices for the sake of EC folks or anything, there's not a whole lot you can do there. You can rearrange the question order if you want. Let's make this one or whatever. And then you can also, and again, these are all in order, so I probably just took a question from a reading completely out of context. So not sure that's a great idea. But you can preview it, or if you hit done, you're good to go. And you'll see it comes up here in green. Well, it should be green. It's not today for some reason. But anyway, so you just go through and you can assign the test just like before. And you have to put the date in there. So I'm going to assign it for Monday, make it due Friday, and then you want to pick your classes, and by putting an ENG, it gives you your whole class instead of, because you can do just like, if you ever want to assign it to one person, you can do that. If someone's retaking or something like that, or they need the modified test, you can. Anyway, you just hit assign, and I'm not going to do that because I don't want to assign this. But at any rate, that's basically how you do it, and you'll see it, whatever you named it. All these things are here, and you're good to go. When you're finished with this stuff, and if you look at it from a class standpoint, as opposed to your Pearson standpoint, you'll be able to click into it, and you can look at each class individually. And so now that mine have taken the unit test, I see that 23 of 29 have completed. The average is 34. That's pretty terrible, but some outliers, obviously. But you can go in and you can see who's started and who's taken it, who's completed it. And the scores weren't great. There's all kinds of stuff that we did for us, or for me. We're going to go in and curve this a lot because, if the best score was a 50 or a 64, that's probably the one we'll start with. You can add a comment in there. You can review whatever you want. And then the nicest thing about it is that you actually can see all kinds of data points. You can view the question, see where she got it right, where she got it wrong. And so if you're in your class, you go back to the class, you can see these data points as well, because where it says data, you have the option to pick the class. So when we look at my second block, it gives me class mastery by standard. And so I can see each person. So it gives me each of these things. And so I actually went through this, like Lennox right here is doing great. He's on standard with everything. I can click on the standard and I say, hey, Lennox, check this out. You're doing great with citing evidence. Meanwhile, I called somebody else back and said, hey, you're doing pretty well with some of these, but you're still struggling with standard 2. And so this is a great way to help them understand what it is they're trying to accomplish. And I actually found it pretty helpful for the students, because when they saw such low scores, they were terrified. But when I showed them that they're meeting standard or on standard, they felt a lot better. So, but at any rate, so that's kind of how it works. And if there's anything, if you need any kind of help, just let me know.